Hello. So this is.
Hello.
Oh my god. Oh my. Honestly, my hip's just gone. I can't actually move it. You might be witnessing my old age creeping in live.
Not so much creeping as.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, shit.
Do we need to swap places?
No, I just need to not be sat how I've been sat for ages. Right, so we are now going to talk about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
We should have changed t-shirts and really fucked you all up.
Yeah, that would have been fun, wouldn't it? As I was starting to say before we decided Galaxy's Edge needs its own review, I could just go to Galaxy's Edge when the park opens, stay there till it shuts, not go on any rides, and just live in Star Wars. That's how much I love it. It's so cool, and the theming's brilliant. And we were talking interestingly. We bumped into some people who'd just come out of the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel, the new Star Wars hotel, anyway. Which I'm really keen to do, but I was a bit like, it's an awful lot of money, and what do you get, and what is it really? They had a chat to us, and I was like, don't give a monkey about spoilers, just tell me everything. And they wouldn't actually give me details, but they talked generically around the stuff. And what I said to them was like, is it worth the money? And they were like, God, every cent and more. And I was like, sold! I will be saving up to do this at some point in the near future. Realistically, a couple of years away, I think, before you can even get a spot in it, but anyway.
We might actually have time to save for it.
Yeah, exactly. But from the minute you get to Galaxy's Edge to the minute you leave it, you are immersed. And there's so much you can do. So as well as the fact that there's shops and marketplaces, and you've got stuff that sells First Order merchandise, and you've got stuff that sells Resistance merchandise, and you've got characters, and the characters, are interacting like they should, because they're still working to restrictions. So, they stay up on stages and behind fences and things like that. That's Disney-wide at the moment. It's still just such an enormous experience. And the first time I did Rise of the Resistance, which I'm not going to tell you anything about what happens once you go through the doors, because the very first time I did it, I spent the entire time just like genuinely like wide-eyed, slack-jawed, blown away by the whole affair.
Just still managed to sass people though. That's what
I did. There is. Is it too much to say it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. There was an opportunity for me to give a bit of lip back to someone, and I did. Which they sort of vaguely knew how to handle, but I think they could have done it better. I'd have done it better if I was in that costume, let's put it that way. But just the stuff you will see and do. All I would say is, if you were ever thinking you might do Rise of the Resistance,
do it.
Do it, but know nothing. Read nothing. Watch nothing. Don't ask anyone about what happens. Don't watch any YouTube videos that give away. Don't watch any making ofs about the theme parks that might give you a glimpse of something you don't want to see. Because there's so many moments that genuinely may be like, fucking hell, oh my god. I think, because I've done it a second time, and I really, really enjoyed it, but I noticed the difference in how I felt because the surprises weren't there. And I think if you're any kind of Star Wars fan, particularly if you're the sort of Star Wars fan that I was as a little boy, probably less so now. When I was a kid, I knew they had names like Snaggletooth and Hammerhead and Walrus Man back then. I still can't tell you what their actual names are now that everything's got a proper race and a proper actual name, rather than just a weird ass thing that's
a 15-page backstory. Thank you.
Yeah, see, I'm not into all of that. I don't know it. I've never been bothered. That's not my thing. But I think it doesn't matter which iteration of Star Wars you were that fan of in that way, whether it was original trilogy, prequel trilogy, or sequel trilogy. I think you will feel the same, just because all of a sudden you are thrown into the middle of being part of Star Wars. So all of the times you used to run around with an imaginary laser gun on a bit of grass, actually thinking you're in an X-wing, you know, all of those moments are, and there's the helicopter, are paid off, and it's a box ticked. Smuggler's Run, again, I knew a bit about Smuggler's Run before going in, but it's didn't.
Don't ever let him be the pilot. That's all I'll say.
Surprised we landed, frankly. I was really keen. I was busting to sit in Han Solo's seat in the Falcon, right, which I'm sure you can appreciate. And actually, it's just where you are in the queue. It's completely default as to whether you sit. They've actually cheated and they've got 6 seats in the cockpit, not 4. So you get pilot, co-pilot, 2 gunners, 2 engineers. We ended up with a large group in front of us and a large group behind us. So they took the large group in front of us off, they filled the cockpit, job done, so we were going to be next. The large group behind us meant that we got to go through on our own, so we naturally fell to the pilot and co-pilot seat. So I was like, right, I'm having Han's chair, you can have Chewie's chair. And because the group behind us was too big, the granddad from their group got to be our gunner. And to be fair, he did a lot better than I think either of us did at flying the ship. Yeah, one of you gets to do up and down, one of you gets to do sideways, basically. I was on sideways duty.
And were we ever going sideways?
I'm sure if you tweak it slightly, but no, I'm boom, boom. So we were boom, boom. And it's all like a simulator. And it's you're narrating. You talk to Hondo the entire time. Even though apparently there's certain buttons you can press in the cockpit. I meant to look it up. Might do it before we go back there tomorrow. You can engage Wookiee mode,
right?
And Chewie just talks to you the entire time. So it's worth looking up Wookiee mode if you can ride it more than once. But yeah, the thing for me was we walked around the park and they took me a certain way so that there's certain ways you can go where you'll kind of see glimpses of the Falcon before you get there.
By they, he means Mark and Andrew.
Yeah, Mark and Andrew, yeah. They basically walked me around, so I walked straight up and the entire thing was there. I had to go off in the corner and cry. I was fucking all over the place. Absolutely beaten by it. It's a thing of beauty, it really is. But then you've got all the little shops, and there's things we haven't done. We haven't done the Droid Factory. We haven't been to the cantina yet. We're going tonight. You have to book into that. We've eaten at the fast service restaurant and the sit-down restaurant.
Yeah, the sit-down, FYI, the sit-down restaurant is amazing. It is literally like walking into, obviously not a canteen because that's tonight's experience, but if you ever imagined what a Star Wars restaurant would be like from where you've seen it in things like The Mandalorian or whatever, this is exactly what it is like.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And the food is outstanding.
Yeah, you are in that world. There's no two ways about it. You see a lot of people obviously running around with lightsabers because there's a build your own lightsaber workshop, which we haven't done because the lightsaber is like 200 quid. We keep looking at it and going, are we going to get that on a plane home? You can buy like First Order uniforms, you can buy Jedi outfits. I've tried on a Jedi outfit, didn't really look great on me. I'm not buying that. But I think we see some people running around in Jedi outfits that may look like Jawas, which was an interesting thing to come across. Yeah.
Choices.
But yeah, I mean, and if you're going to do Galaxy's Edge, again, it's worth going back at night because at night it looks different. It adds a different level to the theming. I think it kind of looks more authentic actually once it's dark and the lights are on. You will hear ships fly overhead and you will look for them. That's the ridiculous thing. It's a sound effect, but you will go, fuck, what's that? It's just so well done. And once you're in there, you can't see the rest of the park. When you're on Batuu, you're on Batuu. When you're in Black Spire Outpost, that's where you are. You're not anywhere else. I think occasionally that helicopter might go by, but that's about it. But
First Order drone.
Yeah. If you're even vaguely into Star Wars, it's an absolute must do. Even if you don't like the rest of Disney, it's make an expensive trip. But do something else in America and then just have a day at Galaxy's Edge. Rope drop Rise of the Resistance or pay out for but if you're paying out for a Lightning Lane, which is its own product, you can't buy it. It doesn't come in your Genie Plus for the day. You have to specifically buy a Rise of the Resistance Lightning Lane for $15.
It's still $15.
It's the same price as Genie
Yeah,
Plus.
which I think, to be fair, is probably one of the
big
more
gripes.
legitimate sort of complaints that the Genie Plus whingers have, is that Genie Plus, which is effectively, from what I understand, meant to replace FastPass.
Yeah.
Doesn't cover everything.
No, there's select rides. There's about 3 rides across the whole resort that aren't included. But if you're going to come and try and do Rise, it's worth it. I would say it's worth every penny.
And just FYI, with the Lightning Lane, this is a similar issue. You literally need to be booking your Lightning Lane within like the first 20 minutes. Otherwise you ain't getting it for that day.
As the Lightning Lane purchase window opens, you've got to be smashing that to get it, because a lot of people still aren't. But if you're doing that as a combination, this is what we did Sunday. So we were smashing to get a Lightning Lane and rope drop it. So rope dropping it, we'd have been on within like the hour or whatever, and Lightning Lane back in the evening. So then when we found out the ride was down and we didn't know how long it was going to be, we just went, no bother, we just won't do it twice a day, we'll only do it once, but we've got the Lightning Lane, so we go off and do other stuff, which is how we got onto Slinky Dog, which I thought was dull. And then I got lambasted for calling it dull. But anyway, apparently I'm boring. No, the ride's boring.
Now who's being the child?
Whatever. Galaxy's Edge is just so fucking cool.
One thing as well, which we have found, because again, there is with like the Disney app, and there's all kinds of like Disney Play apps you can get as well.
Oh yes.
So there are sort of a whole bunch of like interactive elements that you can do, and Paul will talk about that probably slightly more because he was doing it.
Yeah. So if
but one of the things that has really cemented it for us is that by the sound of what we've learned, if you do the Galactic's like Star Cruiser hotel thing, it actively then feeds into these additional activities. So it just makes the whole Batuu experience. Like, cause a lot of the, I think, complaints were, oh, it's 2 days, it's this. It's like, no, it literally is your 2 days plus everything you then do in sort of Batuu as part of the Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, I mean, these people were saying they'd worked them so hard with all the little secret missions and go and find this person, pick up this package, whatever it happens to be. They said they loved it and thoroughly enjoyed it, but they were knackered.
Yeah.
Because they'd had 2 days of being worked to tell this story, to live this story through the Galactic Star Cruiser. I think that's what made me think, well, that's good. It's not just a lounge around, sit in your room, stare out the window, pretend you're in space. It's
and then have a quick 5-minute interaction with someone. Once or twice a day.
It's go. So if you go into the Disney Play Parks app, what's brilliant about it is there's all sorts of different things. So we did the Peter Pan one in that queue. Did we do the Pirates one in the Pirates queue? And we were all terrible at it. Yeah, we did the Pirates of the Caribbean one. Basically, you can scroll across and find different things. There is, I think there's a section on there which is for Galaxy Star Cruiser guests only, so we couldn't access that. But there is a Galaxy's Edge section, and there was lots of different things that I haven't even begun to get into. But the thing I did that I just got immense satisfaction out of doing for like about an hour was there are
an hour every time we've been there.
There's a pad there's pads on the wall all over the place. So basically, you hack them. So you decide whether or not you're going to be Resistance or First Order, and you change their allegiance. So it's all to do with Bluetooth. So you go over. So I was stood there. It gives you a little photograph of where it is. And I'm like, so where's this one? Where's this one? Right, so it's over there. Hack into it. Do the little puzzle that means you've hacked it. And then it would all like beep. Like, the amount of people that were leaning on them, I'd hack into them. They'd be like, oh. And then you change it. So what the aim I was going for, we just kind of ran out of time. And I was like, oh, and it really drains your phone battery. Was I was trying to get half the park Resistance. I nearly got there because that's the thing. But then you get different levels. So I think I'm currently classed as a droid maker, but I've been all sorts of different titles.
Yeah, but basically, when you hit certain achievements, like you
unlock stuff and credits and
15 of these terminals, you get like a master hacker type title.
Yeah.
If you hack a droid, you get a title, which I think is where you got the droid thing.
Yeah, the droid in the wrong.
So essentially, for the gamers of you out there, they're basically achievements.
Yeah.
They just come with their own little sort of title that presumably will show up in your app if you choose to display it.
But it's brilliant fun. Brilliant fun. Just running around again, just playing Star Wars like I was 7 again. Just phenomenal. Absolutely out of this world.
So, hats off to Disney for getting an official 50-year-old reliving his childhood as a child, essentially.
Like I haven't left it. But yes, if you're even vaguely interested in Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge, it's not even a question, you've just got to get there.
And to be fair, I would actually say, even if you're not, like, unless you actively hate Star Wars, in which case, obviously, you're going to get nothing from Galaxy's Edge. But even if you're a non-Star Wars person, it's an experience, because again, they have got. I've talked about like some of the themes, like when we talk about the Animal Kingdom, they have gone whole hog with Galaxy's Edge. You can really see kind of like the Imagineers' expertise coming through in terms of what they've put together for what is, to be fair, geographically a very small area of the overall parks. But you would not, while you're walking around there, you would not think that.
Yeah, it's a game changer. It changes how theme parks need to be built and designed from here on in, 100%.